So, I want to talk about Colin Kaepernick. I don't want to talk about Colin Kaepernick. I just kind of feel that this might be the last time anybody ever talks about Colin Kaepernick. To be totally honest with you. Apparently, Colin Kaepernick had a workout scheduled for last weekend. Now, hey, I've got two sources for information on this right now, right? I've got the news, which told me all manner of different stuff, right? So I can only extrapolate the story I can from the consistencies in all the news broadcasts I heard. And then I've got a buddy of mine at work who is giving me just, let's just say, a different perspective on it all, right? So, here's what the news tells me. The news tells me that Colin Kaepernick was in talks with Jay-Z, who pushed really hard to get Colin Kaepernick another shot to be in the NFL, right? So this is now leading me to believe that Colin Kaepernick wanted to get back playing ball, all right? And I'm like, all right, well, whatever, somebody wants to hire him, God bless him, So the NFL sets up this event. Colin Kaepernick is going to come do a workout, and he's going to be trying out for whatever, right? And it was supposed to be at like the Eagles stadium or whatever. I don't remember exactly where it was. One of the stadiums. And all 32 teams were supposed to send scouts to come and look at Colin Kaepernick. So, all this is done for Colin Kaepernick. Now, this is why I don't understand companies these days. And I swear to God, sooner or later, one of you guys has got to grow some balls and just go, no, fuck you, man. Here's the thing. Colin Kaepernick was a football player. He wasn't the best, but he thought he was. And so, he decided that he was more important than the game. So he decided one day that he was going to do something. He was going to talk about what he felt was a problem in the country. People standing during the national anthem. And so Colin Kaepernick kneeled during the national anthem. And everybody went, what the fuck is with that asshole? Why is he kneeling during the national anthem? Somebody asked him, Colin, what's up with that? And Colin Kaepernick said, there's a lot of police brutality in this country. And everybody kind of went, well, why are you kneeling during the national anthem? What does that have to do with... Well, this is the only way that I can make a statement about it. But you just made a statement about it. The only reason we fucking care to ask you is because you're kneeling on the field. Now that you've made your statement, great. But he kept doing it. More people started doing it. And the veterans started looking at it like, I fought for your fucking right to disrespect me in this way. And my friends died for your right to disrespect me in this way. But I really want to kill you. Right? So, then that became a fucking problem. And it turned into this whole divisive thing. Wherein the issue grew beyond the scope of the problem. The problem was supposed to be police brutality. Right? Colin Kaepernick felt that himself and his activism was more important than the entirety of the game of football. So he made a display of himself so large and offensive as to garner enough notice. Because here's the thing. If everybody would have seen Colin Kaepernick kneeling on the ground and went, dude's kneeling, who gives a shit? And nobody cared, nobody would have asked him, why the fuck are you kneeling on the ground? Like, if everybody just assumed he was already out of shape and tired, and he's kneeling because he can't fucking stand for 5 minutes, if everybody just assumed it was that, nobody would have fucking asked him shit. His message would have never gotten out. Nobody would care. Guy did how many interviews about football, and at no point said, I want to take a moment to talk about something, if I can, that I feel is a problem in this country. I'm sure, if he's sitting on a couch somewhere in some morning show or something like that, has to be on, be like, I really got something I want to talk about. If an NFL quarterback asks, a news agency, I got something I really want to talk about, is there any chance that you guys can get me on? I think he can probably find one, a local station somewhere or something, and get on there and really fucking, if I call up my local TV station even and say, I'd really like to get on the news because I got something important I'd like to say, they're going to go, who the fuck are you? But even if you're, the second string quarterback, they'll at least take your phone call, whatever. There's a way, there's ways that you can get your fucking message out when you're a football player. He chose this way. And again, like I said, the way that he chose to make enough of a spectacle of himself to be able to give his message, it made a problem that was bigger than the problem, that he was trying to address. Or at least, it's not a problem that's bigger, but it became a problem that was bigger. Nobody was talking about police brutality. This didn't spin into police brutality. This spun into, why does this guy hate his country? You know what I mean? Like, that's what it spun into. And then it turned into the fucking NFL is slave owners. And then it turned into, nobody wants me on their team because they're all racist. Right? And it's this corrupt NFL. They're upset because I spoke truth to power. And so now they're upset. And it's because they're racist and corrupt. And now it's like, anytime Colin Kaepernick goes, hey, I want to try out for a team, they go, alright, cool. We'll find a facility somewhere, we'll get everybody all together, we'll make a day of it. You can come out and fucking run around the track and call us racist. Right? Colin Kaepernick had all these demands. He wants to make sure that all the media can be present because we need to have transparency. It's not so that Colin Kaepernick can as many pictures taken of him as possible. It's so that we can have transparency, right? And we got to have a film crew there to document it because we're making a documentary of it. Not so that Colin Kaepernick can get more money. For transparency. And I want to have Nike send a film crew there to film a commercial wherein I will say the names of all the teams that came to scout me. Right? Not to make sure that all 32 teams show up under threat of being called racist for not being there, but so that Colin Kaepernick can make money, I guess. Boy, that really just turned into he's an asshole no matter what, didn't it? Really? Okay, whatever. So, or probably for transparency. I don't know. It's always transparency now. Right? Like, these are his fucking stipulations, and they went, alright, fuck it, whatever. Go to the Eagles arena, we'll fucking do it. And it gets all the way up to the afternoon. The afternoon of the event. We're talking like hours, right? And Colin Kaepernick has decided that the event will be moved to a high school 60 miles away. And that is where I will be trying out for the NFL. And amazingly enough, like honestly, amazingly enough, 8 teams actually fucking went and showed up. I was like, those are some desperate fucking teams. I'm like, wow. Like, those are either teams with owners who are like, we cannot be called racist by this man. You must go. And said, bend heaven and earth if you have to. We cannot be called racist by this man. Like, I don't know. I don't know. But 8 teams fucking showed up. And I was blown away by that alone. I was kind of thinking that they'd all kind of collectively just go, you know what, fuck this dickhead. So, the NFL is wicked pissed at Colin Kaepernick. Jay-Z is now wicked pissed at Colin Kaepernick. And Colin Kaepernick is saying, I can't believe they weren't willing to concede to all of my demands. I can't believe on hours' notice that the NFL wasn't willing to move the entire shindig from a stadium to a football field at a high school. I cannot believe that they would be so racist. I don't know if you said that shit. I don't fucking know. Like, I know that everybody's fucking pissed at each other. Because everybody feels like they have a reason to be pissed at each other. And one of them is an asshole. Who has every reason to feel like a fucking asshole for what he did. Because it's pretty fucking obvious what he did. Like, he's just like, at this point now, he's fucking with them. You know what I mean? Like, nobody's talked about Colin Kaepernick since, what, the 4th of July? When he decided to tell Nike, a company that he works for, that they were racist because they were putting out a Betsy Ross flag shoe. You guys are racist, you know that, right? I'm going to tell the fucking world that the company I work for and represent is fucking racist because they're putting out racist Betsy Ross flag shoe. And Nike pulled the shoe, right? Because Colin Kaepernick said so. And then some other company came up and fucking made like $500 million off of selling fucking Betsy Ross flag shoes and Betsy Ross flag shirts and fucking Betsy Ross flag shit. Right? Seems to me like Colin Kaepernick works for Nike, but is actually working for Adidas. You know what I mean? Because Nike lost him a lot of money off that shit, and somebody else made a lot of that fucking money up. And Colin Kaepernick just, you know, he did good. He made sure that for a summer, everybody had Betsy Ross flags hanging in their fucking whatever, on their person somehow. And he made sure that Nike didn't make any of that money. But hey, at least they're not racist, right? And Colin Kaepernick was in the news. And now Colin Kaepernick hasn't been in the news since 4th of July. And that's a long fucking time. It's almost Christmas. So, you know, and it's almost Christmas. Dude's got to buy Christmas presents. So he's got to get a book offer or some fucking shit like that. Or he's got to wind up on some fucking commercial. You know? He's got to get paid. So, coming up time to have another scandal so that I can get on interviews and be paid. And I really honestly think that this is going to be Colin Kaepernick's shtick until we just stop giving a fuck about Colin Kaepernick kind of collectively. I think every couple of months he's going to need to get paid. And so he's going to fucking beg the NFL for another tryout. And they're going to tell him to go fuck himself this time. And he's going to go, see, they're racist. And then it's going to turn into a whole fucking thing again. And yeah, man. Like, So, fucking Colin Kaepernick. There you go. There's my fucking Colin Kaepernick video. Like I said, probably the last one I'm ever going to make. Like, from this point forward, it has now occurred to me that Colin Kaepernick wants me to make videos about him. And so I don't care anymore about Colin Kaepernick.